This week on Keeping Success Pure.
Business is all about creating win-win. It's got to work for you and it's got to work for me.
When it happens like that and it's almost like a spiritual situation, you just have to go with it.
Every man is born with a soul, you know.
It's like my heart won't let it.
We were founded 25 years ago. My father and I started the business. We had just done Oprah's new studio here in Chicago, supplied lighting to them, and we got into the business to supply lighting to the studios throughout the Midwest. We have two divisions to our company. We provide cameras to the motion picture and television industry, so movies like The Dilemma that was made here this past summer, or television shows like The Chicago Code, which was shot here this past fall. And then we also have a sports side of our business that we provide specialty cameras throughout the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL, and the NFL. I think the key to any business, whether it's the motion picture business, the stock market business, any business, the meat business, is relationships. It's all about relationships.
Now, one more question. And of course, we have to ask this. What does Keeping Success Pure mean to you?
Well, I think it's simple. It's integrity. You know, so much of our business is done on a handshake. We've done multi-million-dollar deals with networks, literally just on a handshake. And our banks had a hard time understanding that. It can't be a win-lose situation. Business is all about creating win-win. It's got to work for you and it's got to work for me. You know, I value the integrity that Fletcher's name has built over the years. We're a family business. It starts with my father. You know, I always admired and still admire his honesty, and noticed it very early on when we started doing work together. Right now we're in our prep space. This originally, when we started in business, as I told you, we were in the sales business. You know, we've changed. This used to be our big showroom, and now we've turned it into a giant prep room. And then they're taking their camera, setting their lens, and then measuring the distance of the focus. So if it's going to focus at 5 feet, they need to have the lens come up at 5 feet. When Julia Roberts hits her mark, and she hits this piece of tape, she's 4 feet from that camera going to be focusing at 4 feet. If it's focusing at 3.5 and she's slightly out of focus, a big 70-foot screen, that really shows up. In here we have our optics room, being able to make sure that your lenses are properly collimated and properly set up is a really important aspect for motion picture work. In here is a screening room for our customers to be able to show off their reel. So if you take a young cinematographer, he can come in and use the room to show it to his client. The dock, it's a big thing. Chicago's, you know, got a lot of different seasons. You know, cold and rain is a common thing in Chicago. Back here is where we keep all of our equipment. We have, you know, large amounts of shelves. As you can see, not all of them are full, which is a good sign to us. The equipment's out and it stays out. You know, there's not a lot of batteries here right now. That means that there's a lot of production that's happening. We have production offices, film that's coming in to shoot into Chicago. They have to start by finding a place to be able to conduct their business. We owe the success for business to a guy by the name of Michael Jordan.
You think?
Our sports division, we really started it in 1991. And the Bulls went to the NBA Finals in 1991, And they kept going back, 1992, 1993, they took a couple of years off, came back, but NBC was always looking for something new. We put the camera on the bottom of the scoreboard in 1991, and the director and NBC got a lot of credit for coming up with this new camera angle. The following year, NBA Finals, they want to have a new shot. They come to us and say, hey, what can you do new? The next year, we keep coming up with new ideas, putting the camera behind the backboard, putting the camera low on the stanchion. Now the shot that we do a lot is on top of the shot clock. So when you watch basketball, you look right down the lane, that's what we do. In hockey, we put the cameras in the nets, put the cameras behind the nets. We put cameras where you can't put people. So I love my job because I can tell my wife, hey honey, I gotta watch this game, it's work.
Right.
So it's good, it's good. I just don't want her to know that I don't always have to watch the games.
Right.
It's like my heart won't let it. Girl, don't let it go. Circumstance can't do this. Oh no, it's got to be. Because my heart, it's like my heart. Yeah. Oh no, it's got to be. 'Cause my heart won't let it go. Oh no, it's been gone with my ring, babe. And all too soon. Not the way you play is supposed to be. Can I speak freely? I'm sick of playing. I've had all I can stand. I'm growing old, older without you, girl. How can this be? It's like my heart won't let it go. Don't let it go. Oh no, it's got to be. 'Cause my heart won't let it go. It's like my heart don't let it go, no. Oh no, it's got to be. 'Cause my heart won't let it go. She's got a new man in her life, but she's still calling, checking in on me. I told her it's alright. You say he's just a friend. Your friend. He's just a friend, and what we had, it will always be. 'Cause your heart won't let it go. Heart won't let it go. You just can't let it go. No. No. Oh, she can't let it go. Even though the girl tried. Oh, she said she tried. The little girl said she tried. been taking numbers down. She's got new friends in her life. She said they call her up from time to time. Oh, they even take her out sometimes. Oh, but late in the midnight hours, you know, like the preacher said, late in the midnight hour. Oh, when you go back home to your sleeping quarters and you hold the pillow tight. Oh, that's when she gets to thinking about it. You know what I mean? Oh, she gets to thinking about that love, yeah. She's thinking about the love, yeah, yeah. She can't let it go. She can't let it go. She can't. She can't. No. She can't let it go.
We're here with Jesse Poulter and the Alter Ego.
I'm Sam Barsh. I'm the male portion of Jesse
He's
Poulter.
the alter ego.
I'm Jesse's alter ego.
Okay, I can see that.
It comes from when we met. We both come from a jazz and soul background, but I had already had a couple years stepping away from that and getting into the pop world. Jessie was very heavily steeped in the jazz world, though her background had her doing a lot of pop writing, and she had just it was dormant in her, and I kind of brought that back out of her in a way. And
I had a secret diary of journal of songs that I had been writing, more mainstream stuff. You know, at the time I was so focused on John Coltrane and Ella Fitzgerald and Miles Davis.
Okay.
So when I brought it out, it was like gold. And we just kind of went from there.
Now, you are trained in what, piano? Or tell me what?
I played piano since I was 7.
Okay.
Thank heavens my mom kicked me in the butt and told me to stick with the lessons.
Okay.
And then I went to University of Michigan School of Music. And I was in the jazz department there as a vocalist.
Okay.
So from the time I was 16, studying classical music, and, you know, my parents sent me to performing arts middle school too. It was like I was always focusing on working at my craft.
Okay. And now, how did you all actually hook up?
2006.
yeah.
I think I tell this story already.
All right, you can tell us.
So we had a lot of mutual friends on the jazz scene, and I was in New York playing a gig at the Blue Note, I believe, which has been one of my favorite venues that I've ever had the opportunity to play.
Okay.
And a friend said, you should check out Sam Barsh. He's a really, really funky white boy that you should connect with.
Okay.
And I was like, sure. We got together and we sat at the piano at his place in Brooklyn. And I called a couple jazz standards, just gonna jam on them. We both took some solos. And then after the second tune, he turned to me, he's like, you just wanna write pop music? You are the guy I've been looking for. So we started from there. We wrote our first song that day, but we made it work.
Okay. So, what do you think some of the pitfalls that you guys, would tell the audience not to fall into?
Don't set yourself up to expect totally unrealistic things, then get so discouraged that you want to quit.
Enlighten yourself by spending time learning about the business aspect, because as focused as we are on the music, which is really where our heart's at, it's so important, and we've both had to learn, I've had to learn the hard way, that you really have to be a businesswoman.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us today. And
We're excited about it.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a great performance.
It is. Jesse Poulter and the Alter Ego.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
All right. So it's like, my name's Bilal. I'm from Philadelphia, a musician. I've been kind of into music my whole life, Since I was like 3 years old, I was singing in front of people, in the church choir, imitating Michael Jackson. So it's just been something I was born doing. My dad got me into jazz early on. So through jazz and through growing up singing in the church, that kind of like honed my first like real, bug, or that first spark to even want to be a musician. Growing up seeing different jazz musicians play and going to gigs, hearing the terminologies like Young Cat and stuff like that. That whole persona and thing, that kind of got into me, as well as the music. Going to New York, seeing the big city and all the other different musicians, I just felt that energy, and that kind of like inspired me a lot. I put out an album when I moved to New York. I moved to New York maybe around '99. I put out an album called Firstborn Second. And then from then on, I kind of been in this business for like 10 years, working with different artists, like the likes of Jay-Z, Beyonce, Jay Dilla, lots of cats, that I work with. I think everything that I've been through kind of like has made me the musician and the person that I am, I'm the type of person that likes to use those experiences, and this is what I do. My main thing I like to do is just play and make music, and perform live, but I really love to create as well, and that's my thing, I wouldn't really be able to tell you what kind of music it is that I do, because it's a mix of a lot of different kinds of things. I would say I'm a soul musician, but I'm into so many other styles of music. It's kind of taken a hold of the music. So I'd say my music is genreless, almost like a hip-hop producer. I draw from a lot of different concepts to make what it is that I do now. Keeping success pure, never forgetting where you came from, staying true to yourself and true to what it is that you want to do. Get to a place where you collect all of those things that you like, that you're into, become a collector first, collect all of those things that kind of make you, and then start to develop that, and stay true to that.
I played the fool before, staring at the sun till it burned out my eyesight. Blind, but a man must move on. No time for regrets. Who lives to rehearse? Rehearse the time you were here. Through other ladies, I drove myself crazy, wondering why they weren't you. You think I'm a fool, but I did it all for love. Did it all for love. When you stayed in the sun for too long, even the sun moved on. You know I did it all for love. Maybe I am a seeker in search of a dreamer, and she dreams, she lays her down and dreams. Oh, maybe tongue till I turned out my eyesight. Oh, blind, but a man must move on. No time for regrets. Who lives to rehearse? I rehearse the time that you was here. Through other ladies, I drove myself crazy, just wondering why they want you. But I did it all. When you stayed in the sun for too long, even the sun moved. Did it all. Stayed in the sun for too long, even the sun must move on.
Hi, I'm Drew Prada.
And I'm Deandra Lyle, and we're your hosts for Keeping Success Pure.
The inside look to the entertainment industry.
Support for Keeping Success Pure begins with you, the viewer.
Visit keepingsuccesspure.com to learn how you can donate.
Keep it real
Keep it pure
for the way we live. Peace.